even. Did that just start doing something? Oh, it's actually recording now, like, what, 10 minutes after the fact? All right, so here we go. We're going to come along here, and we're going to do a kind of a controlled scribble. But first, I'm going to put a little outline, just kind of a zigzag, kind of like lightning, kind of following along the edge of that arm right there. Okay, they don't go down, they follow the contour. Then I'll come over to the other side. And I'm not putting a lot of these on there, just a few, just enough to show that it's now we'll do that controlled scribble, and it's going to follow the flow up the arm, so it's not going to be straight up and down, it's going to be at a curve. So like this. I'm coming just back and forth to start with. Their little arms, their little legs, they're darker than the rest of the body. That's why I'm pressing a little bit harder here when I do this. Then I'm going to come around. And I want it to look kind of coarse and longer hair. Get that part done, I'm just going to color this in. Not real dark, I'm just filling in the white area in between a little bit. So it needs to look hairier and darker, like maybe your last date. Okay, but that's what we need on there. Why that isn't focusing is beyond me, just because nothing's working today. So whatever we do on one side, of course, we hop over and do the same thing on the other side. It's just really important that you follow the contour of the arm around. So your lines, even if you're scribbling, are curving with the contour of the arm. So hopefully you got some, and the hair actually on the forearm area here, if you actually ever got a chance to feel a beaver pelt or see a dead one or whatever, it's actually really quite coarse. It's really stiff. While everything else on them is really soft, that part's coarse and hard. Does anybody need more time on those arms? Raise your hand if you do before, so I don't go ahead of you here. Okay. Okay, this next part is just be a matter of darkening up these feet a little bit so they're more like this up here. We just lightly put them in there last week just to get them filled in before the bell rang. All I'm going to do now is just darken them up slightly, making sure I leave my highlight areas on it. And then that little webbing in between, I'm going to make that really dark here in just a second, after I've darkened the rest of the foot down. So that little webbing part right in between, I'm going to make that basically black, so it stands out from the other. Okay, so whatever I do, of course, on one side, hop over here and do the same thing on the other side. After we complete this beaver, this is our guided practice one, then I'll probably let you practice on it a little more, and then when we go to do the final for a drawing, gave me your best effort and it didn't turn out quite perfect. I am taking that into account. I'm also taking into account it's a little bit of a hard drawing, especially the face up here. Okay. With that said, the next thing that we're going to do after this will not be nearly as complex. It will be a different genre is part of the reason. It'll look cool, it'll be fun to do, but as far as difficulty goes, it's a lot easier than what it looks the next thing that we're going to do next week after we finish this beaver stuff up. I don't know, we probably will be working on this beaver next week to get it start to finish, and maybe one day into the following week. But the next project after the beaver will be much easier, so there's hope on the horizon for you guys. So this one's a little bit hard, and then we're going to go. This is more like shooting a free throw, and we're going to go to a layup on the next one. It's not a half court shot yet. Okay, does anybody need any more time on the feet? Okay, I don't see any hands. Let's go ahead and do these legs. On this side, we're going to have the hair go this direction. On this side, it's going to go the other direction. Here, kind of follow it around. Same kind of zigzaggy shape. Right down to the bottom of your beaver right here. And on this side, of course, it's going to change directions and go the other way. Same thing on this leg. The main thing on that is you don't have these little points sticking horizontally out, or it'll look like it's being electrocuted. They need to go with the flow and follow what gravity does, pulls it down a little bit. All right, on this side right here, we're going to do that controlled scribble, but we're going to keep this fairly dark. It's just a little dark area right there. And I don't have my lines perfectly together. I'm just following the flow. I want a little space between my lines, but I want it kind of dark on that side. And do the same thing over here, just a little darker on this side. And I take it right up to the edge of the foot, and just back and forth a little bit. So while it is coloring, this is a very rough coloring, okay? I want it to look rougher. I want it to look texturized, not just smooth. So there are times when your coloring is going to be smooth, like on the face, and there's times where you want it like rough on the forearm and these little bottom legs here, back legs. I'm going to come around this side and do the other side. I'm not going to go quite as dark on this side, but it's still fairly dark. Just follow on around and just keep repeating that. I go back and forth. And once I have the lines put in there, then I'm just going to come in here and with my pencil I'm going to just color and fill it in a little bit with a lighter gray. I want my lines to show through, so I don't want to color that in so dark that the lines I just put on there disappear. But I don't want the bright white of the paper either. I want it to darken this up a little. When we do get into shading, instead of just coloring, we'll really work on having dark and light contrast. In this, we just got a dark foot with highlights on the edge so it contrasts with that little dark leg. But it gets even more important when you actually are shading and making it trying to look two-dimensional instead of flat coloring. Okay, whatever I do on one side, of course, I come over here and do on this side. All right, so I've got both those done, and I'm going to give you guys just a few minutes to get caught up here. And it won't take us too long, and we'll have this little bugger all completely colored in. Does anyone need more time on the start of the body? Okay, same hand, so I'm not clairvoyant. If you don't tell me, I don't know. All right, so his little body here it's going to be a little short. Back and forth. Bring that down a little bit. Following around the contour of the body. Little zigzags. These are tiny ones because the hair on the body is more fine and soft. So I'm going to go down one side and hopefully zigzag. It goes right down to the leg, and then it actually just keeps going until we get to the middle here. Then I'm going to stop right there, and then I'm going to go this way. Straight up and down. Before I go to do these hairs, I am going to sharpen my pencil because it's kind of got dull and all that dark stuff. You do want a sharp pencil for the next part. Heads up. Because it's a different texture than the legs that we just did. It's more fine. So we want to make sure that we have a good sharp pencil. Before I go do this body here, I'm a little bit more so it stands out one from the other a little bit. Just let it fade right out into the cheek. Do that on both sides. It's just a little light, looks a little too faded to me. And by doing that, it also makes the chin come forward just a little bit. The sides of the mouth come forward a little more. Okay, just slightly darker so it stands out. And then on the bottom of the chin right here, right along that bottom edge, I'm going to go a little bit darker there and then let that blend right up into the chin as I move up. And the reason I need to do that is the body, when we color it in, is going to be a similar color as far as how light or how dark as that area right here, and I need a separation. I don't want this and this exactly the same, or you won't be able to tell where the chin starts and stops and the body starts and stops. That's why I'm making that just a little bit darker. It shouldn't look like a black line across there. It just should look like kind of a shadow that fades out as it goes up towards the lip. On it, we're going to leave a little highlight that goes down this edge. So you can see a little bit of sliver of light. So when we do this, my lines are close together right now. Not pressing very hard. As I work my way through this, I kind of go up towards these little points, but I don't color in them. I'm just keeping my lines light, so I'll bring that down so you can see exactly. There, and darken that tail in. It'll make this little highlight stand out really good. But unlike this, where we had lots of space between our lines, now we're keeping our lines pretty close together. You can have a little space here and there, but it's really important that it follows the flow around the body and that you keep it light. There should be a different value than what the arms were, meaning much lighter. So I like to come along and do the edge first. I'd rather be too light than too dark because we can always go back and darken it up. But if we get it too dark to start with, kind of a pain to go the other way. I am using the side of my pencil so it covers area faster as opposed to using the very tip of it. The main thing, keep it light and notice the direction my pencil's always going. I'm not going counter this way, the opposite of the way the hair would flow. I'm following the direction the hair is going to flow on this. And between the So I'm going to do that side, and then I'm come around and do this side, and then I'm going to do the center part last. So just start high up here on the shoulder, leave a little highlight. Getting messy here. Give me a second just to get caught up to that point, and then we'll finish off this stomach. All right, let's go ahead and finish the stomach out. I'm not going to leave any highlight along the bottom here. I'm going right to the edge now. I'm just establishing my line direction as I go, and kind of switch and start going the other way when I get right here. So when I get in the middle, it's almost straight up and down. Kind of like a little spring, like a spring's coming out and flows left and right. Some of it goes kind of straight up and down. And then I'm just going to follow that same direction over and over and over again till I get to the chin. I'm having a slight amount of space between my lines on purpose to make it look a little bit furry, but I don't want tons and tons of space. Up here, I want it to look different texture than what's on the face. I want it to look like hair down through here. Because this is our practice one, that's why I'm not changing the feet and hands on it now. We'll just live with what we've done. But like I said, I've posted a video on how to draw much easier feet and hands when you go to do your final. Now along the bottom here, there's kind of a shadow along the bottom because the stomach kind of rolls under. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come along the bottom and go a little bit darker, right up to where the bottom of the feet are. I'm going to make this a little bit darker. Again, still following the same direction that I did earlier with my pencil. So it's important that you change direction. Where the tail comes in. So it's like a little bit of a shadow down there, and so it's not all the same. want to go black. We don't want to go super dark. It's just literally a medium, halfway between dark and light. Oh my gosh, this thing. Having computer problems here. So I'm going to start right here at this bottom end, and I'm going to take it right to the very edge. What is this computer doing? So I'm going pretty dark right there. Kind of be aware of where your hand is here, because it's starting to rub and I'm starting to get some crap on the side of my hand. So you might want to turn your paper so you're like this, and that way your hand's off your drawing while you're doing it. I'm going to leave just an ever so slight edge of light along the edge of the tail now that I've moved away from the bottom just a little bit. So I'm right at the edge, and then just barely as I'm moving off, I'm going to leave just a little teeny strip of light going all the way around. I'm just going to put it down here as a guide. And I'll adjust it as I go. It's a little wide right now, but like I say, it's just to remind me is all that is. More concerned about this edge right here where it comes up against the body. Now this area is where you got to keep your lines super close together, and you want it to be smooth and even, okay, on the tail. The tail should not look hairy. I'm going to take and darken that line that's going around the outer part of my tail just so it's clear and defined. If yours is already dark, you're good to go, but mine's a little on the light side. You gotta go. Okay. So 90% of what we were gonna do today, you've seen. I'm just gonna put a few crisscross, come here right now, and I'll just show you. When I finish it off, I'm just gonna put a few lines right in here like that, so I'll just look for a texture thing, and then that's done. You guys start your line. You can get saved. Good luck. All I'm trying to do right now is just kind of even things up a little bit so it's not so much dark light. It's all kind of the same. Oh, a lot of those have one fine tip on one end and white on the other. Yep. Okay, after I have that filled in like that, there's one last little thing I'm going to do. It's just a texture thing. I'm going to put some curved lines, and I'm pressing really hard. Little curved line, little curved line. Put another one right there, and I might even go in between those lines. Those are kind of wide apart. And then I'm going to come along here and turn it the other way. And I'll put a curved line going this way. Just a few of them, about the same distance apart. And I'm not going to do that over the whole thing. I'm just going to do that just a little bit, and it's just to offset the texture slightly so you know that it's not the same as the fur. Okay? Is it technically accurate? Not really, but it does give the illusion of a different texture. Okay, with that said, the beaver is complete at this point. So what you need to do now, for the one that we're going to grade, is I want you to redraw it. You can use any of the videos. You're welcome to do that. I'll have an image of this posted on there. I'll get that loaded up here in just a second. I'm going to stop this video so I can, hopefully it'll stop anyway.